Assalamu alaikum, my dear kids. How are you all? How's your health? Well, I hope you're all fine and in the best of your health. My dear kids, as you all know that the topic which we are studying about is the air, water and weather. Today we will continue with the same topic. In the last class, we learned about the air, its composition, isn't it? Its properties. Now today, our topic which we are going to learn is water. About is water. Water, as you all know, my dear kids, that water is the necessity of life. No individual on earth can survive without water. Water is important as it serves the main purpose, that is quenching the thirst of all the living beings present on this earth, isn't it? It quenches the thirst of almost all the living beings present on this earth. So water is important. It is the necessity of life. No individual can survive without water, isn't it? Water, it is needed for drinking. It is the home of many aquatic animals. Many aquatic animals, they survive in the water, like fish, shark, whale. Water is their home, isn't it? They live in the water. They can only and only survive if water is present. If there is no water, they will all die out. So water is important for us for drinking purpose. It is the home. It provides shelter to a vast variety of living creatures, isn't it? So many living creatures are present in the river bodies, like oceans, seas, streams. Small fishes are found in the lakes and ponds, isn't it? So this water, it provides life to the aquatic animals. Besides this, water is used for other purposes, like washing, like cleaning. It is also used for irrigating the fields, isn't it? Irrigating the crops. It is used for the plants it is helpful in the growth of the plants. It also helps us in cleaning our homes, in washing our clothes, in cleaning the cars, vehicles, isn't it? So in many day-to-day activities, water, it has its own use. Water, it has its own importance. Got it? So water is the main, it is the essential component of life. Without it, survival is not possible, isn't it? So my dear kids, today we are going to learn about this. As you all know that water, it exists in three forms. It exists mainly in three forms. One is solid, second is liquid, and third is gas. In solid form, it exists as ice. In liquid form, it exists as water. And in gaseous form, it exists as water vapor. Water, it has mainly three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. In solid state, it exists as ice. In liquid state, it exists as water. And in gaseous form, it exists as water vapor. And these three forms, solid, liquid, and gas, these three forms are interchangeable. They can be changed from one state of water can be changed from to another state. Like, I'll give an example. If we take out the ice cubes from the refrigerator, after some time, within a minute or two, we will find that these ice cubes, they start melting. It means that water changes, ice changes solid state. Ice changes its state from solid state, it changes into liquid state, isn't it? And now, if this water, it is heated over a gas stove, what you will find that vapors start coming out of this water. So now the liquid state, it is changed into which state? Gaseous state, isn't it? As water vapors come out of the water, so liquid state, that changes into gaseous state. Now if we place a lid over this water, what we will find? After some time, when these water vapors, they cool down, the water present over the lid, that condenses, that cools down and changes back into its form, that is the liquid form, isn't it? And changes back to its liquid form. Now when this water, when it is cooled down and it is placed again in the refrigerator, the water solidifies. It means that the liquid state, it changes into the solid state. This all means that one state of water that can be changed into another state. So these three states, that is solid, liquid and gas, these three states are interchangeable. Got it? Solid, it can be changed into liquid by cooling. Liquid, it can be changed into gas by heating. Got it? When ice cubes, they are taken out of the refrigerator and are placed in some glass. After some time, we will find that these ice cubes, they start melting, isn't it? So it means that water, that ice is changing its state. From solid, it is now becoming liquid, isn't it? Water is liquid form, isn't it? So now the ice that earlier was in the solid state is now changing its form. It's now becoming liquid. Now if this water is heated over a gas stove, after a few minutes we will find that this water changes into water vapor. It means liquid state of water is now changing into its gaseous state. Water is changing into water vapor. Got it? Now if a lid is placed over this water, after some time we will find water droplets over the lid. It means that now gaseous form of water, it is again changing into its liquid form. It's changing back to its liquid form. And when this water, it is again placed inside refrigerator, it changes its form, it becomes ice, it becomes solid, and the water solidifies. It means that these three states of water, that is solid, liquid and gas, these are interchangeable. Got it? Have you got it? Very good, very nice. Now my dear kids, in nature what happens, this water, it continuously moves from the earth to the sky and then again to the earth. It keeps continuously moving between the earth, sky and then back to the earth. Water in nature, it keeps on moving from the earth to the sky and then back to the earth. Now this continuous movement of water between the earth's water bodies, that is rivers, lakes, ponds, oceans, seas, to the sky and then back to the earth is known as the water cycle. So what is water cycle? Water cycle is the continuous movement of water between the earth's water bodies, sky and land. Water cycle, it is the continuous movement of water between the earth's water bodies, sky and land. Got it? So water in nature, it continuously keeps moving between the water bodies, that is the lakes, oceans, rivers, seas, got it, sky and the land, and this is known as the water cycle. Now in nature, how does this water cycle work? How does this water cycle work? Let me explain to you. My dear kids, the heat of the sun, it heats up the water present in the water bodies like lakes, oceans, rivers, seas, ponds, lakes, and that water that evaporates in the form of the water vapor. Pay attention, my dear kids. Listen carefully. I am telling you that how does water cycle work? How does water cycle work in nature? Got it? Pay attention, please. My dear kids, the heat of the sun that evaporates the water present in the water bodies like oceans, rivers and lakes as water vapor. Now this water vapor, it rises up in the sky. This water vapor, it rises up in the sky, and the water, when it rises up in the sky, it comes in contact with the cold air. It comes in contact with the cold air and it condenses there. it condenses in the sky. It condenses in the sky, forming the tiny droplets of water, into tiny droplets of water. Now, when these water droplets, they combine, they join together, they form a cloud. They form the cloud. What they form? Cloud. And when the clouds, they cool further, they become heavy, they fall back on the earth as rain. When the clouds, they become heavy, they fall on the earth as rain. This rainwater, it goes into the water bodies like rivers, ponds, oceans, lakes, seas, and thus the water that earlier evaporated from the water bodies returns to water bodies again, isn't it? So in this way, the water vapor cycle in the nature is completed. I will explain this one more time for you. Please pay attention. My dear kids, how water cycle works in the nature, I am explaining this to you again. Please pay attention. My dear kids, water from the river bodies, the heat of the sun makes the water from the river bodies to evaporate. And that water evaporates as water vapor. Water vapor that rises up in the sky, it comes in contact with the cold air. It cools down there as tiny droplets of water. Got it? It forms the tiny droplets of water. When these tiny droplets of water, they combine together, they form clouds. They form clouds. Now, when the clouds, they become heavier, they cool down further and they become heavier, they fall on the earth as rain. This rainwater, it goes into the water bodies like oceans, like seas, rivers, lakes, ponds, streams. Got it? Thus, the water, it keeps on moving between the earth's water bodies, sky and the land. Got it? The water which earlier got evaporated from the water bodies return to it again as rainwater, isn't it? In this way, the water cycle, it works in the nature. Have you got it? Have you got it? This is the continuous movement of water between the water bodies, sky and land. Got it? So this was all about the water cycle. Now, what is the importance of this water cycle in nature? What is the importance of this water cycle in nature? First of all, this water cycle, it brings the rain. Water cycle, it brings the rain, and rainwater is important as rainwater, it is the main source of water. It is important, it helps to refill the rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, and it also, rainwater, it also irrigates the fields. It helps the crops to grow. Got it? So this is one of the importance of this water cycle. One more important aspect of this water cycle is, that water cycle, it changes the salty seawater into fresh water. It changes the salty seawater into fresh water. My dear kids, do you know that the water available to us, all the water, about 1/3 of the earth's surface is covered with the water. But the water which is present on the earth's surface is not the fresh water. Most of the water that is present is seawater, that is salty water, and cannot be consumed. Only 1% of water is the fresh water which is consumed by us, and that too is not available in the pure form, that needs to be purified. So my dear kids, keeping this thing in view, that only a limited % of water is fresh water, we have limited source of fresh water, We must take care of these water bodies. We should not pollute the water. We should take care of these water bodies, as these are the main sources of fresh water available to us. Got it? Rest of the water, that is the sea water, that is salty water, that cannot be consumed by us. Got it? That is not fit for drinking. Only fresh water which is available to us, and that too is in very minute quantity, that is limited. So we should take care of these water bodies, keeping in view the availability of the water, a limited availability of the water. We should take care of these water bodies. We should not pollute them. We should not throw wastes and other things in water bodies. We need to take care of them. Got it? And we should try to minimize the wastage of water. We should not waste water. We should never waste water. We should try to minimize the wastage of water. We should use the only that much of water which is required by us. Rest we should save the water. Got it? We should save the water. We should try to make this harvest rainwater. We should use rainwater for irrigating the fields and other things, growing the plants. Got it? So we should try to minimize the wastage of water. We should not pollute the water bodies. We should take care of these water bodies, as only limited percentage of water is available to us which is fresh. Got it? And before consuming the water, we should do one thing, that we should boil the water. We should filter it. We should filter it, because most of the water that comes to our homes is not pure. It needs to be boiled. It needs to be filtered. Then we should consume the water. Got it? So this was all about the water. I hope you have understood it. Next time, inshallah, our topic that will be about the weather. This was all for today. Now you will do one thing. You will draw the water cycle on your on a chart paper. This is your activity for you. Rest we will meet inshallah in the next video. Till then, take good care of yourselves. Fi amanillah.